Dork here. Jackie Collins has a sexy book. That was pretty good.
Did you have to do that?
Yes, that was good. That was good.
All right, now the book, Jackie, great to see you again, and
Thank
lovely
you.
as always. Mark is confused not by what's in between the cover,
Yes.
but rather the physical dimensions of the book seem to throw him.
Mark, you seem to be very into physical dimensions today. First we have your feet, now we have the book.
Yeah, but it's
this
very
is a
thick, but
paperback.
It's
This is a
light and it just
paperback.
seems to be small.
Yes.
Miniature paperback,
Yes.
no?
No, there's a paperback and then there's a trade paperback, which is bigger, and then there's a hardcover. This was in hardcover a few months ago. Now it's in paperback. I'm explaining this to you like, wait, what is going on here? Help me,
There's a
please.
man.
Suck you
There's
in.
a man.
Oh, yes.
I write the books, and then a man puts them in type, and a printer prints them.
Yes, and then you read them, Mark.
That's the part that's missing.
Yeah, that was good, Chef.
And it's like $3 more in Canada.
Yes.
Here's a
Exactly.
book business question. Does one, such as yourself,
Yes.
actually make more money from the hardcover or the paperback?
Well, it depends how many you sell, you know. I never really get into that. I'm too busy writing the next book.
Or do
Yes.
paperbacks, as a general rule, sell more than hardcovers?
They do sell more
okay,
in hardcovers. Yeah, you sell a few million in paperback, and sometimes you sell 1 million in hardcover, and then you always sell more in paperback because more people can afford the paperback.
Exactly
So that's
right.
why it's fun when it comes out in paperback, and people like Mark read it.
It's accessible to people like Mark.
How long does it take from hardcover to paperback?
Oh
Is it-
my God, you're obsessed with this today. What is wrong with you, Mark?
I thought that was a better question. No.
Sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it's 9 months. This was a very successful book in hardcover, so they wanted to bring it out quickly for the end of the summer so that people could read it up until Christmas.
What's this book about?
It's called Lovers
Thank
and
you,
Players.
thank you, Carlos. Finally, a question. It's about a dysfunctional billionaire, Red Diamond, who has 3 sons, and he summons them to New York. And it takes place over 7 days in New York, and there's a Russian mobster, and there's call girls, and there's a love affair, and there's more mobsters, and there's 2 murders, and it all takes place over 7 days. The 3 sons come to New York, and one of them is a ex-kind of druggie, and he's gone to Italy. He's 22 years old and become the biggest supermodel in the world. And then his brother is a LA entertainment lawyer. We all know a lot of those. And the third one is not Donald Trump, but it's a real estate guy in New York. And they come because they think he's dying. They think the father is dying. But really, they want him. He's been a very cruel father. They want him to say, you know, guys, I really love you after all. Which, of course, he's not going to say. So there's family dynamics and all this other stuff is going on.
We talked that a lot of your work is based on sort of the not impolite eavesdropping and knowing, you know, these are sometimes interpretations of people that we all know.
Yeah.
How much of it just comes from is just your very vivid and talented imagination?
None of it. No. I think when you read Red Diamond, you're going to say, oh, wow, this is the worst mogul we've ever read. But we all read the papers and we all know what goes on in Hollywood. So when you read Red Diamond, you're going to say, maybe it's a little bit of this mogul or that mogul or this one. People love playing the guessing games with my books. And there's Bertie Marvel, who's like a pop diva. And there's all these characters that are kind of interacting. There's a lot of surprises in the book. The fun of writing the book was writing it over, not writing it in 7 days, but making the book set in 7 days. And that was so much fun to do. I've been watching too much 24
I was
hours.
going to say,
It was
yeah.
fun, you know.
And as a matter of structure, because I've talked to Cindy Sheldon among others, do you like plot it out? Like this is going to happen, and this is going to, and then
No,
fill it-
absolutely not.
Okay.
When I'm writing a book, I sit there, my characters take me on a trip, which is so much fun for me. People say to me, oh, I couldn't put your book down. And I go, because when I'm writing the book, I cannot put my pen down. I don't know what's going to happen from day to day. I'm in the middle of a new book now called Drop Dead Beautiful, The Continuing Adventures of Lucky Santangelo.
And we were talking about, of course, Nicolette Sheridan played Lucky on the
Yes.
small, and Kim Delaney. And I didn't know that Sandra Bullock was the mom.
Yeah, she was the mom. On my website, JackieCollins.com, you can tune in and go to Lucky Chances, and you can see all these fabulous stills of Nicolette as Lucky and Sandra as her mom, and Vincent Irizarry, who played Gino Santangelo. So I'm bringing back the Santangelos in the next book. But in the meantime, people are having fun with Lovers
Okay,
and
I
Players.
have to ask,
Yes.
because you open these books and you can find a little bit of steam. Is that imagination, or have you had a steamy past,
I've
my
had
dear?
a very steamy life, Chad.
What do you mean?
I have to say.
Where's the word?
Yeah, well, you know, it continues.
Exactly.
But I mean, not that it, does it not embarrass you? That's the wrong word. But you write in eloquent and explicit fashion.
You know, I write
That was delicate.
really...
Wasn't it?
No, but it is. I like
I know what he's getting at.
Yeah.
I try to write erotic sex, and Cher will know what I mean. You read a lot of males, and they kind of make rude sex. But I try to make sex that turns you on in a way, but your imagination plays into it too. So you're reading the book and you're like, oh, this is a fabulous sex scene. And then suddenly your whole imagination, you think it's sexier than it is.
Oh.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm there.
I like the way you
She's
say
there.
it.
Yeah, men are loving this book too because it is about three brothers and this very cruel father.
Interesting family
when,
dynamic.
When
Yeah.
stuff like this comes out, and I know Hollywood comes calling for many of these things.
Yes.
Do you? But it's probably after the fact. In the back of your mind, you think, well, you know what? This person would be good to play that role.
I don't really think that because if I thought that, I'd be in trouble. I've been negotiating on this book now for a movie for 3 months. I mean, you know, development hell.
Right.
And it's going to be a movie eventually. And I'm hoping to bring Lucky back to the screen too. I'm also developing with a guy that I can't name at this moment, but we're developing a series called Young Hollywood.
Oh,
which
cool.
will be a fictional series about
No,
what's
Ryan
going
Seacrest
on
again,
in
huh?
the clubs.
It's Ryan Seacrest. That's who she's did.
That's
Yeah.
going to be so much fun. Though. I
That
love
sounds
doing
like a
it.
great project.
When we talk about young Hollywood, are you surprised? We seem to do a story about Paris Hilton every other day.
Yeah.
And somebody like that, I think, very deliberately, not makes us do that. I guess we'd obviously do it of our own free will, but puts herself out there in
You
that
know,
fashion.
Paris actually works quite hard. I mean, I was one of the first ones to hear her CD, and it's really good. I was at a party at her house, and she kind of took me in a room and said, you got to listen to this. And she does, you know, Rod Stewart's Do You Think I'm Sexy? And it was great. And I've known Paris since she was 12. And I've watched her grow up, and she does, although she's at a party every night. You know, when I was 22, I was at a party every night, too. What's so terrible about that? She lives her life like a guy, like a single guy.
Good for her.
My heroines do that. They live their lives like single guys, and why not? Women should have equality with men and do what they want. I mean, nobody complains about, you know, Colin Farrell or people like that. I mean, so she's out every night. Good for her.
Jackie Collins, Lovers and Players is at bookstores and elsewhere where you get paperbacks now. So nice to see you.
It's great to be
Thanks for
back.
coming
You're
in.
always such a great group.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Having you
It's a
here.
pleasure.
Jackie
Thank
Collins.
Is it the same company who releases
Oh, my God.
the paperback as the hardcover one, though?
Just
Is it,
put your shoes on. You're better with
Wait,
your shoes
thank
on.
you. He is much better with his shoes on.
These shoes to give you kind of like, you know.
You're better with your shoes on. It's going to be a phrase for the next Jackie Collins book. I don't doubt that.
You're better with your
Or
You'll
a
shoes.
get credit for it.
title. Your title is good.
The mogul weathercaster with his shoes.
Right.
Better with
All
your
right,
shoes.
still ahead.